In this instructional video, we'll look at breadboards and how we can use them to build electronic circuits. Here's a picture of a breadboard. It basically contains a whole lot of holes that we can plug our components into and use wires to connect them. Now, these are typically called prototype boards or breadboards, or sometimes even white chocolate boards. As the saying goes, if you put too much current through them, they become brown chocolate boards as they start to char and melt. These are good for prototyping low frequency circuits. In later years you'll understand some of the difficulties we get when we're trying to use high frequency circuits and how we have to factor that into our printed circuit board design. On the plus side, using a prototype board is very quick to construct circuits and reconfigure them. We can simply remove wires and add extra wires, and it's what we'll be using in the labs for creating our circuits and testing them. The Arduino we've designed plugs directly into one of these breadboards, allowing us to build circuits around what we're using. Various holes of the breadboards are connected as follows. Down the edges of the breadboards there's some vertical lines. These are all connected together vertically, and generally there's a space somewhere in the middle. That space is not connected across, and if you look at the diagram on the right, it shows the electrical connections underneath these holes as to where things are connected. So we have two stripes down each side, and generally what we want to use these for is for power and ground connections. So if we're using 5 volts as our high and our 0 as a low, one of these lines will have as 5 volts and one of them will have as ground or 0 volts. Makes it very easy to connect things up to these different voltages from anywhere in the circuit. One thing we need to be aware of is right in the middle they're broken, so if we want to use the full stripe on either side, we need to put a little jumper across to connect the top section to the bottom section. Now the holes in the middle are all connected horizontally, and they have a break between the middle of them, so there's a row of 5 and then a break and then another row of 5. We use these to build our circuit out. Now we'll have a look at an example of how we can build a circuit on our breadboard. So here we're not using our power and ground rails or anything like that. We're not actually using power and ground. But you can see, starting at point A or point B, if we follow them around using the horizontal stripes, we can see how the circuit's connected together. Our 680 ohm resistor, or our blue, grey, red, gold resistor, is connected into two different resistors, the 1 mega ohm resistor and also the 33 kilo ohm resistor. The 33 kilo ohm is orange, 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 gold. We then have that 33 kilo ohm resistor connecting into our 150k resistor on the far right side of the board, and so on, and we can follow that back through B. So a few things to note: we have a break in the circuit right down the middle of the board. One half of the board is not connected to the other side, and we can build our different circuits out. Now if we run out of pins, we can put a wire in and jump it off to another area, and we'll have an extra 4 holes that we can plug various components into. Now that's probably going to be useful for some of our pins on our microcontroller when we've got lots of things that we want to plug into them.